We spent our days on the coast of something beautiful. We got pulled into the tide of something real. But somehow I lost you on the way. I assumed you left me behind. Lifeless days and sleepless nights, so tired of it. I can't get you off my mind, can't forget it. Now I know what I've got to do is find my way back to you. Hey, why did it take us so long? Hey, while I was dancing on my own. Hey, and now my prayers been answered in my darkest time. 'Cause now I found you. I was waiting on the day you would come back to me, hoping that I didn't burn a bridge I couldn't see. And now that you're by my side again, I'll never leave you behind. Lifeless days and sleepless nights, so tired of it. I can't get you off my mind, can't forget it. Now I know what I've got to do is find my way back to you. Why did it take us so long? Hey, while I was dancing on my own. Hey, and now my prayers been answered in my darkest time. 'Cause now I found you.
Alright. We're back. We're back with the ferry. So this is what we got done last night. Got a bit of a hull. Well, majority of a hull, and a wheelhouse, and a sort of general shape for what we're going for. It's not the prettiest boat you'll ever see, but yeah, hopefully it'll work well once it's all complete. Things usually look better when they're done, don't they? I hope they do anyway. Right, not much point hanging about. May as well just get back into building. Figure out what we need to do. So we can move it. Actually, you know what? We'll turn off world view because that's just gonna freak me out like it did yesterday when I thought I black screened. So where do we start? Just show you this is the ferry we're going for. So it's Saoirse na Farra, it's called. Operated down the west coast of Ireland on the Iron Islands. So you can kind of see the similarities. It's not as pointy as the real one, but it's not too far off, I'd say. It'll do for Stormworks. So symmetry on. What will we do first? I think start on this door here, because this will be where the entrance will be. The main entrance on board, and I'd want that to lead into sort of like, if we have maybe a wall along here, we can get rid of most of this when we're done, but the wall along here, and then that wall will make a part of the staircase which will lead you upstairs. So one side of the staircase will go up into the wheelhouse, the other side out onto the top deck, and that saves you using these stairs here, but obviously you can use them if you want. So big passenger cabin in here, another big passenger cabin up the front, maybe like first class up at the front, and then just ordinary class up at the back, something like that. So where do we go with this then? We'll go full height. I think we'll just do one door, just to save us building a load of like big mullions in the middle of the door. Keeps it all looking nice and even. So that's a good height of a door. And that'll fold into the wall. Actually, maybe it should fold the other direction. No, because then it folds outwards. And we don't want that. I could have it that it folds out in 2 halves. Because this won't be because it won't be underwater. Well, hopefully. I don't think it'll need the actual water sealing capability. Like, if you have one door, water can't get through it when it's closed, but if it's split into 2 doors or this part of the same thing, then the water can get through the gap, but it'll still act as a sealed object, if that makes sense. So it isn't 100% necessary that it be one door at this height, that high above the waterline. Let's just try it this way, see how far it'll come out when we do it like that. So we'll do the same over on this side. Build up the rest of the door. We'll need to add some more doors around the place anyway that are manual doors rather than these big heavy doors. And that way you can get on even when there's no electric. Because you do not want to be getting stuck off the boat when she dies. That wouldn't be fun at all. So this will be interesting because we'll have to do each side separately. It's not overly difficult, but it's a bit annoying. A bit of a minor inconvenience. Could have them separately controlled as well, and then that way you only have to open the one that you need to open, and you can open both then if you need to. So do a window here. And then buttons there. And then the controller will go in there. Could actually put another window down below as well, if we fancy it. Which I think we might. Yeah, we may as well. Get as much natural light as possible coming in. Right, let's wire this up. I'm not going to worry about electrics just yet because we'll do all them when we put the batteries in. But door logic I'll do fairly soon on, and then that way it's out of the way and it's less logic. Rather than having to navigate through all the logic that'll be there later, just gets it out of the way when it's done. Oh, it's up here. Right. Do it from the side. That's not too bad actually. Could have a gangway as well if we wanted to. Not sure how strictly necessary that would be, but it could be a cool feature, or even we could have the door fold out and then a gangway fold out of the door. Oh, or a gangway on here. So a gangway outside the door. Although how do you put the fence on it? Because it's going to need a railing so that you don't fall off it. But there's not enough room there for a railing. You know, we'll stick with that for now. Right, let's do a few windows just to give me an idea of what it'll look like with windows, because it does look a bit weird looking at the minute. So if we do them in like groups of 3 maybe. What we can do is maybe do it instead of that. We'll lift them up by 1 block. and then run that down the bottom, and then make them the same color as the wheelhouse windows, and then same kind of pattern all the way along. That doesn't look too bad. How we're going to do it in here, I have no idea. Maybe some of these dragged across, and then a window. One of these? Nope. One of these 3x1x1. Yeah, kind of takes a big chunk out of it, but actually that's not necessarily a bad thing. It doesn't look awful actually. As long as it says watertight, that's literally the one criteria that it needs to adhere to. And by the looks of it, that does. Yeah. Okay, I think we'll go with that. Should we do one more? Why not? There we go. Not perfect, but it'll definitely do the job. Up here needs work definitely, because that is very strange looking. We'll just need a wee tiny bit of space up there for like mooring lines, that kind of stuff. Maybe we should have a gate at the back as well. Not strictly necessary, but could be a nice feature to have. Better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it, would be the theory here. Actually no, we want this to fold in, don't we, because we don't want that folding all the way out onto the jetty or whatever we're pulled up against. Get ready for the bass drop. Okay, let's give these new doors a try. Okay, enough whistling. Yeah, it's a nice enough door, I suppose. And then you still got access up the stairs. And a wee bit of room at the back here. And then doors and windows look alright. They're not perfect, but what is really, when you think about it. Did this color initially, but I'm thinking we should actually change that to pink. And that way we can tell where the water line is a bit easier. I'm just going to do this now because when I'm looking at it, I'm thinking everything's too high up, but when I actually see the water line, It'll give us a better perception of what everything is at. Yeah, obviously didn't work, because why would symmetry tool work? I don't know. So we'll do the same thing with this as we will do with the railings, where we paint them this color now and then paint them the actual color later once we've decided on what color to paint them. This can all just be filled in because I don't think we're going to do anything else more around here. It's fairly safe to fill and not worry about needing to go over and paint stuff again. It gets it out of the way as well. So I think what I'd like to get by the end of this stream would be engines. Engines and a wee bit of detail in the wheelhouse. So we could make them a pipe instead rather than the big chunky block. Just a pipe. Make it look a bit more sleek, like a proper prop shaft coming out. And then there, we'll have, no, we'll not do that. We'll do it in white so we don't get the dreaded paint errors that everyone's talking about. And then that makes it look like it's got a bit of support. I will change the colour of the propellers because the propellers aren't going to be the same colour as the anti-foul, obviously. Unless someone anti-fouls propellers, maybe that's a thing people do, I don't know. Yeah, that's a nice enough colour for propellers there. Right. Okay, so that'll give us a better idea now of where the water line will be. And I can work things out better then based on that. Probably could have just used plain fill there, but don't like it messing up inside then. Okay, perfect. So, wheelhouse. Where do we start with the wheelhouse? We will go... We'll start with a compass, that's the most basic thing. And then I can decide everything else while we do that. So, compass up here, speed, and then I'm thinking sonar. Sonar might be a bit unnecessary to go up there, but it fills that area up nicely. I'm gonna try and have more stuff low down on this one rather than up high, just so it keeps the view nice and clear. Although we will still have, actually, you know what we can do? We could have the radar and then the GPS here, and one of the screens then will double up as data link. Unless I have a radar up here and then GPS and data link. Actually, data link could probably double it as a GPS, although no, you don't get the autopilot then. Aye, we'll just do them separately. Just use the switch box then, change the screen and output and all that kind of stuff. So cut them out. Quick tip for using monitors: don't put monitors down on the symmetry mode, because one will end up facing the wrong way, which isn't good. Okay, that's gonna have the worst view ever, so we'll not put them there actually. It could go on pivots. maybe. Let's spawn that in and see how it looks. Because we could put, oh, I keep forgetting it's over here. We could put some switches and stuff up behind them screens. Yeah, that's good enough. It looks a bit sort of, no, it looks a bit too weird. We'll just put them somewhere where they blend in. We'll not. Okay, let's leave them for now. I'll do something else instead, until I decide what to do there. What else will we need? We'll need engine controls. Engine controls will be 2 instrument panels. It's a bit of an easy way out to do this, but I could literally copy and paste all the controls over from this boat here. So where's the engines? Engine controls there. It's a wee bit of a lazy approach to it, but it's going to be the same engine setup anyway, so it doesn't need to be any more complicated than that. So this is really just a saving of time. Where do we put the engine controls then? I'd kind of like them side on. Could have them up ahead of us. Suppose we could huddle everything in around the helm, and that'll keep the space taken down. Or yeah, the space taken up. It'll keep that lower. And we can put the trim tabs and the throttle there as well. Just switch them around. Actually, we'll paint them. Paint them white so that we don't get any paint in the wrong place. And then we can go back and paint everything else differently then. What we're actually going to do is change them around. So we'll move the throttle over to the other side. And then the trim tab further away, so the throttle's easier to get at than the trim tabs. Because you're going to be adjusting throttle more than you're going to be adjusting trim. Let's make sure that works. Throttle up, reset throttle. Yep, that is grand. Right. What else do we need then? We need... No, actually, you know what? We could just put the engines in now. That would be the easiest thing to do. So the engines on this are going to be controlled by an all-in-one controller. That's just the name I've given it, not necessarily what it really is. But yeah, that's what's going to be controlling this. Is this one here? Yeah, it's got large engines. See, this is a much bigger boat than that. And it's going to have the same size engines. That seems to me like it could present an issue, but we'll hope for now that it won't. We'll put the engines a good bit forward so that they can be accessed easily enough from in there. Yeah, we'll do that. So like almost mid-engine. Online. Oh yes. And then in here we can just have a void. Like there's so much room under here. It is ridiculous nearly. I suppose we could have crew cabins, crew mess, all that kind of stuff. Even though it really shouldn't be doing anything that's a huge journey that would require that kind of thing, but still, nice to have. We'll get a few generators on. So it'll be 2 generators in each. One for the domestic battery and one for the starter battery. I'll put them before the clutch so that even when the clutch is disengaged, there's always going to be a wee bit of power going to the alternator. And then that'll keep the engines charged while the boat's running. So we'll run that like that, and then we'll probably have the engine room all about here. We'll fill in this as well. And make it just look like it's all one big gearbox. And then we'll come back and paint this all later. Water jets, possibly. I've just realised we do chat box. Why have we not got a chat box? Do we? I don't know. Can you see stuff? I'm not even sure if stuff from the chat is coming up in the chat box there. We should be getting the chat box, but I don't know. It's been that long since I've streamed, it probably is broken. This I've just realised looks, oh, that's why it looks weird. You know what, might not even need to do that, we'll just leave it as it is for now. So, we will stick the all-in-one controller, which is not what I called it. I called it the engine controller. Engine propulsion control. I'll possibly just put it in the wall actually. So, if I've got that right. Port RPS, yep. Got it the right way around, that's nice. Port temperature, starboard temperature, starboard RPS. Fuel starboard, okay, we'll not do that yet. Throttle starboard. Clutch. Throttle. Clutch. Reverse. Reverse. What else do we need? We need switch propulsion mode, seat reset, pumps. I don't have any pumps in yet because we're going to test this using infinite fuel. Reverse start. Oh, I've got them mixed up still. Should just fix that now actually. Reverse starboard and starter starboard are in the wrong place. That should be that. Let's keep them all in the right spots. Yeah, reverse starboard is there. And then starboard starter goes there. Port starter goes there. That should be everything we need to run it. Apart from the seat. The seat coming in. To throttle control. So throttle control is that one. From throttle control, port engine. Starboard engine. Up, down, and then WS. Switch propulsion mode we'll have on button 2. Reset will be button 1, and then we'll do button 3 as the horn, but don't need to worry about that yet. So what way do we need this? We need this on reset. We need the sensitivity to go up a wee bit. There we go. We may as well put that on the same. Keep them even. Oh, you're not taking off on one side and dropping down on the other. I spawned it on land by accident, didn't I? Oh well, we can still check it runs. I should probably put infinite fuel on. Okay, that's not working like I thought. Why would that be? Two is toggle, that could be what it is. Oh no, that needs to stay as a toggle. Push for reset. That wasn't getting a reading at all. WS in, up, down, in. Oh, I should have moved it over. I'll move it over now. Back into the ocean. And that way if it works then we can drive it and see where it goes. It'll not be a fair test of how powerful it is because it won't have this amount of power. Well, might have more power actually, but because we have infinite throttle on at the minute. I should have put oh, that's what it is. I haven't got reverse installed. Yeah, I'm gonna connect up the rudders, that's what they're called. So ratio 2. The reason I'm putting that on an ad is so that we can put the control from the autopilot in as well. Just saves us doing it later. So now we have to maneuver around. I have to maneuver around this by. It sounds like it's having the same sort of stalling issue that that boat does. I really need to figure out a system that will stop doing that. Oh, I hit it. Damn it. Definitely not as fast as it would be in real life. That's for sure, although we're not at their full power yet. Okay, that's also 100% throttle. 20 RPS, we will gear it differently so that it'll be better done. I'm just going to try and catch up with it in this boat and then we can measure the speed on this. This should do 40 odd knots, so we should catch up with it no issue. And then that way we can match the speed of this against that other one. Jeepers, this one flies. I always forget how fast this one is when I drive it. There she goes. Where's our speedo? 54 knots, jeepers. Yeah, that is probably much too fast for a boat like this, but hey ho. Oh, it's smoking. How is it possibly? I thought I had that. Engine overheating. Yeah, probably should have turned that off. So we're still going faster than it. Right, what speed are we doing now? 20 knots, okay, that's not too bad. And that's before gearing out as well. And probably with reduced throttle because of the small fire in the engine. Oh, it's just broken itself. Sounds like it's slowly burning itself, which it probably is given the massive fire on board. Hopefully this fire doesn't light us on fire. That would be slightly inconvenient. What I should add to that microcontroller is something that can detect when it's overheating. And that way it'll cut the power and the fuel and the pumps and all that kind of stuff, so that there's no fuel for the fire. Although I don't know if that's how it works in Stormworks. Probably not, knowing this game. Right, what else? Pumps, I suppose we'll do the pumps now. Well, I say the pumps, the fuel tanks, all that kind of stuff. Where will the air come in? The air can maybe come in, and this is part of this sort of big bulky bit here, just in behind the wheelhouse. Or just in front maybe. Or not the wheelhouse, the door. If we move this forward by 1. Move that whole unit one block forward, and then actually no, we'll do 2 blocks forward, right up into the corner. And that leaves us this whole little area here for the air intakes. And we'll just do one on each side then. Keep it relatively simple. Ooh. Okay, we'll do it in set like that then. Or we could maybe do one of these ones. Don't know, it's hard to tell which one looks better. Realistically, they probably aren't best suited to this spot, but you know what, that's alright, that'll do. You figure out how I'm going to make this staircase up. Like if we call it there, the end of the wheelhouse, we want a staircase going into the wheelhouse and then a staircase going out onto the back deck. We could possibly run up side by side of each other. Except one goes off to the right and into the wheelhouse and the other one goes off through a door to the left. That would be good. And in that way it gives you more visibility in the wheelhouse as well. Because visibility is pretty important in boats. And everything, I suppose. You need to be able to see where you're going. You can have like a corner window. Three blocks either side. Perfect amount for a door, a staircase. So we'll have this side have a door coming out onto the deck. Okay, I'm not liking that idea now that I said it out loud. Could have it at the door that comes into the wheelhouse. Will be on this side, but then the staircase going that way, so towards the front into the wheelhouse, and then the other one will go backwards towards the back of the boat for coming out onto the deck. Something like that maybe. It's going to be quite a long staircase. So you get with the tall ceilings. So the other one then will come out. Actually, we could make it so that there's no door at the top. That might work better. And that way we can have a little bit of the staircase for the other one coming up here. And that'll save us space. So I'll need... That might not even be necessary, I don't know. How much room do we need? Do we need the height of a door above each step? So 7 blocks. So from the top of the step, it needs to go 7 blocks up. Oh, I have it on this. Okay. So 7 blocks from there would be... That's 9. So that would be 7. Which would put the staircase there. Yeah. Something like that. You can do a quick walk up the stairs to test it. In this completely unsealed boat that probably will sink as soon as we spawn it. Oh, our lucky day. I suppose with this being so high above the waterline, it doesn't provide much buoyancy. Okay, so we can walk down, yep. And can we walk back up again, more importantly? This is made as majorly unstable. That's interesting. So 7 blocks up in there. Do 8 for good measure. Don't need any of that then. So you can fill it all in from that point on. Actually, what this could be is access up to the top of the bridge. Like up above the wheel. Oh god, that's not big enough at all. That's definitely not 7 blocks. Nope. That's probably more like it there. Yeah, this could maybe be a staircase up to the top of the wheelhouse. That looks atrocious. Just gonna come out there and say that. Let's just get a door for scale. Guess we definitely will need to level that height. Damn it. Okay, that's not ideal by any stretch of the imagination, but it should work well enough. Not sure about this big sloping bit. That'll do for now. Right. Wheelhouse. What did I say I wanted to do? The wheelhouse and the engines. Engines, yes. I suppose this ties in well enough with the engines because we'll have the same access door. This access door here will be the same. Actually, no, we'll not do that. I was going to say it'll be the same one as we'll have into the engine room, but that'll just look horrendous. So we'll just go and do it properly and make it look a grand job that no one will complain about. Make a wee bit of a staircase here so that it's we don't need to block it in with the wall basically. And that's about as far as that one's going. That's nice enough. And then we can have underneath the stairs access to the engine room. So another crew door. Probably don't need that there actually, that big chunk of wall. Oh, we could have it under there actually, just go under the stairs. Yes. Okay, we'll copy and paste this because I'm lazy. And because time is of the essence.
What does perfect even mean? Is there even such a thing? Can we switch up?
So all these doors will be lockable, so you don't get any adventurous passengers coming in. So there'll be a button on the bridge and then that will allow you to lock all the all the doors that go to the sensitive areas, so engine room. Although it's not actually as sensitive as it would be on most boats. It's more just that it wouldn't be realistic for passengers to be down there. But everything for the engines will be controlled from the wheelhouse, just to keep everything simple. You don't need to go down and do stuff. You'll still have access to them, and that way that if something happens to them, so if one breaks or something like that, you can go down with the wee welder torch thing and give them a fix if you need to. And then like that, and then just have a ladder coming down. Not sure what we're going to do with the rest of this space, or whether we should maybe include it in the access somehow. If we're going to include it in the access, we'd maybe make it a bit more substantial than this mess that we have here. I suppose we could actually. We just move the engines further back. Like, not a lot of thought went into where they're placed, so it's not exactly a critical thing. So we could just make in here another staircase then. Yeah, why not? Definitely one for the spontaneous design choices. No plan whatsoever, ever. Hopefully this one will be a bit of a shorter staircase because it's so short, such a short like level. So we'll start there, right. It's actually a huge space down here. This can't be on the real thing, surely. Let's have a look at it. So from just below them windows, maybe a meter below them windows, what is it, like just void? I just don't know. Yeah, I have absolutely no idea. Yeah, we'll probably move the engines back a good bit. Possibly just have them right at the back and then have all the fuel up front. I know what I said about having the fuel to either side of the engines so that when you empty the tanks it still sits level, but I'm not too bothered about that anymore. Be happy enough if it just sort of even sat at a wee bit of a pitch up. Like, there's far too much room in here for me to fill. I wonder how we've ended up with that much room, because we probably shouldn't have that much room. It's just kind of all here. Who knows? Right. Let's select all of that and cut. And just paste them right up against the wall. We could have that as a bulkhead and then have another area in here for more stuff. Like, I could just make a fake curve to it and then put like steering pistons or something like that in. See, this hasn't ended up looking quite good, has it? Right, you know what? We're getting rid of this wall. Apart from the very complicated to put in... Didn't want to do that. Apart from the very... well, not complicated, but time consuming thing of the microcontroller, I'll move it separately. So push that all the way down to the end there. And then we'll grab the microcontroller. Put the microcontroller like here. And make that our fake wall. So this is the fake back of the boat, and then behind that will just be void. I wish we didn't have such a high ceiling because it doesn't really look very realistic. Might have to add like support beams or something into it. Like there has to be something I'm missing with the real thing that fills that area. It just seems very strange that there'd be that much space. Is that high enough for a room actually? I'm just thinking. Doesn't look very tall. Yeah, it's alright. Why are we capsizing now? Don't even have that much weight on this side. This should be a good demo of why these aren't the greatest doors. Okay, maybe not, because we'll just tip to that exact point that I would have needed to show that off and then not go any further. I swear this game just makes up its own mind on the physics every time. Something different every time. That probably should have opened the other way, shouldn't it? So that it's opening onto the bridge rather than out of the bridge. Why are we so unstable? Like there's not a great deal more weight on that side. Yep, I think we'll change these doors around. Perfect. So now they'll open in rather than out like a stupid person would put them. Even though I literally had them like that 2 minutes ago. I need to block this off because we don't want passengers coming up this direction. We can have the seats end there. And have a wee gate or something here. You know what we're going to do? We're going to take out the middle of that door and swap it around. And that way we've got the detailed side on the outside, so that whether the door's closed or open, it always has a wee bit of detail to it. Lovely. Right. What else should we do? I don't know, I keep asking what else should we do, but I know I want to do the fuel tanks, I just can't decide where to put them. That's so much space. That is a ridiculous amount of space. You could actually probably get another passenger cabin in there, if you really wanted to. But I don't think that's the way to go about this. Cause it would be like going into a survivor room and all that, but it wouldn't be very comfortable or anything like that. quite a high wall. Like 5 blocks, that's a lot higher than you would usually have them. Why has that ended up happening? Do you wonder? Like you can still see through it, but when you're sitting down you're not going to see through it. What we could possibly end up doing here is cutting off half the boat and basically sticking it onto the bottom. So like chop away a whole level of this, like a whole block's worth of this. I don't know how these have ended up. Oh, I know what it's been. It's been them sort of dividers in them to make them sit a bit better. That's kind of messed it up a bit. See, even 4 blocks would be high. Like 4 blocks would be your standard helm, and you can just about see over them when you're standing on them. So 5 blocks, yeah, that's too high. So what we're gonna have to do is bring the level of the floor up. If that sounds like a big job, it's only because it is. That is gonna be a huge inconvenience. That could also solve our issue downstairs as well. Leave us less room. Still gonna be too much, but not as too much as it was. So really what we want is the floor here. No, that's too low. Yeah, too low. The floor here, and then you've got the 7 blocks at least, and then 8 blocks in the taller places. So can lift all these doors and stuff up fairly handy. These ones need a bit more complicated to do. Cut and paste. Just move that door up by 1. That's gonna mess up the staircase. Shoot. Always turn symmetry on for this so it doesn't take us an absolute eternity. Sorry if I go a bit quiet here. Just trying to figure out if this is the best thing to do. Nothing else has sprung into my head yet, so I think we probably will end up just keep on going with this. But you never know. I might think of something before I rip it all up and have to start again. This really does affect quite a lot, doesn't it? All of that needs raised by 1. When I'd really rather it didn't. How am I doing this actually? Are we bringing that round like No, let's put the new one in for now and see what it leaves us. That's a more manageable height for the windows. A lot more good looking, sort of ergonomically. That's okay. So now we have a taller floor in here, but we won't in a minute. That's just temporary. So now that that's all like that, we can cut that whole top section down then. So from, well, the point that I still haven't decided what to do with, all the way up to the wheelhouse, all the way back. Get each side of it then. Ship everything in. One, two, and then paste. We're gonna need to redo. Actually, no, we'll not do that just yet. We'll paste that up there. Nope, we won't, because that won't have the logic in it then for the engines. And I can't be arsed redoing that. So put that up there, just out of the way for the minute. And then we'll take that rub rail all the way around. We'll just lower it down. Crap. It's lower at the back. Oh my god. Right, that's just annoying. So now the back needs redone. Yay. Goodness, this is going fantastic, isn't it? Okay, this should be easy enough to fix this area. We'll just replace everything that was 2x4 or 4x4, whatever it was, with these, and then have a bit more flat surface. Yeah, that's actually not that big a deal at all. I really exaggerated that there, didn't I? There we go. And then we'll come up, grab this, put it back down, back to its new level. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but that looks almost identical. Fab, right. We probably don't even need this. Not, well, we obviously don't need it for its practical use, but we don't even need it for design. It doesn't really add a great deal, does it? Probably get rid of it easy enough and sort of not have too much of an issue.
Turn toward me and look so weak. I've never seen you with such tired eyes. And everything we said we'd be, we just traded for a suit coat and a tie. And underneath
No, it looks like it's making a mess of this, but it's only because I am. Okay. No, now that that's painted, yeah, it looks alright. I'll stick with it for now. So I'll have a wee dip in it here where the ladder will go, and then another one down at the back, but we're not going to get much of a ladder in there actually. So what level is that now? We're at about this level here. So we'll lose our sort of deck drain design things we had, but we could just make them further up again. So like here instead. That looks alright. 3 blocks probably isn't great for deck rail height, so we might need to put a fence around there as well. But that's not a huge deal. Do that pretty simply. So now in here isn't actually a room height, it's just too small. I regret filling this in now. This was a big mistake to do. Should have left it open until I figured out what I was doing. In case I'd done some more shenanigans like that. Which there could still be more of yet, so I'll not fill it in this time either. Okay. Nice open space. So now in here is 8 and 7 instead of 8 and 9 blocks high. Which is better because that sometimes you can sort of feel a bit like it's a bit too high. Gonna need a door out. Actually, we're not gonna need a door out. We could have a door, or not a door, like a staircase down from the roof maybe. Might be a bit sketchy, but like, who gives a hoot? Probably could have incorporated that into the design and it would have made things a lot easier, but we've got this far anyway. Like if we had, oh, not there, like that and that, and then like that. That looks not half bad actually. So then that's how you access the front. And then we'll have a staircase coming down in the middle. From like there. Hi, Big Mungus. Sorry, I wasn't reading Jack. Good to see the fans in action. Okay, if you run a ferry and you saw that, would it be a bad sign? Does that look weird? When's the merch? Probably the same time as the phase reveal. 100 subs. That's not a promise for a face reveal either, that's just me teasing for subs. If you're really desperate to see it, just look on my Instagram. Okay, that looks horrendous, I don't know why I did that. We'll have to cut a few of these out just for, like, where the ropes will go. So obviously the ropes have to go somewhere. So we did something like that maybe. Oh, I like that design. That looks pretty cool actually. Yep. I'll say it myself. That looks nice. And then we'll run. Yeah, I haven't left myself a little bit of room up here actually. Probably isn't a huge issue, but why making chat box? That is a huge issue actually. This is so weird. It sometimes works and then it sometimes doesn't. Most of the time, unfortunately, it doesn't. This is a more prominent one. Always show messages. Does that change anything? No. I see. That did nothing. Okay, I've definitely broke this. Oh, it did work. It's just very, 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 very small. Okay. Let's not worry about that anymore then. So, I like that design. Quite happy with that. It's coming together. I need to get rid of this. That, I don't know why that's still there. Just couldn't be bothered changing it. Probably have a wee mast at the front with a wee. Does this need a second anchor light? No, it doesn't, because it's only 40 meters. That's not even 40 meters. This one's 37. Yes, the chat box is now working. I don't know if it had been working. It probably was. I just hadn't noticed it. Okay, this 30, well, what was it, 37 meters? Oh, 29.5 meters. So we don't need a second anchor light, so it's just the anchor light on top of the mast will do. This can be maybe where we put our mast headlight. So for boats like this, they have... Do you think you've... No, not even close. Because I still need to do an interior and all the fuel pumps that I keep putting off. All the fuel tanks and the fuel pumps that I keep putting off. And then I need to finish out the wheelhouse, all that kind of stuff. I'd say we've got a few more days worth of content anyway. Because I'm only going to go to 11:30 BST. Mast behind the nav lights. The run-on lights, I should say. We'll stick the anchor light up there. And then we'll have... No, we will actually stick... I don't know why I deleted it. It's going to be the same light anyway. That'll be red, and then we'll have a white light. Maybe we should have after a certain point just, yeah, pipe. That'll work better. We could use XML pipe actually. I'll use an XML modded pipe. There's quite a good one on the workshop. New XML pipes. is it? These ones? What is the difference between them and them? Or am I being stupid? Maybe there isn't one. Okay, regardless, I think we'll go... Actually, are they bigger? This one's like bigger. We'll go with this one. And we'll cut. Get rid of that so it doesn't take up resources. Press L. Drag and drop. So we'll need to merge that in, and then we need to put all the different lights on it. So we'll start off with the top red one. So this will be the red one, and that will work for not under command and restricted maneuverability. And then I think under that we'll put a pipe angle. That should work pretty nicely and just kind of hide the fact that that's kind of floating. Sort of. Might actually be better just running with one of these. So it's just gives a better idea of what we're doing. Red, white, and then another white. No, another red. Down where it'll be up here, won't it? Oh, no, I have nothing to put it on. Okay, that doesn't look right. Why does that not look right? So there's one block between them. Okay, so it needs to go where the green block was. Oh dear. Graphics bug. That's the trouble with the accidental mods. End up with stuff like that happening. Okay, so that one there will be red as well. And then that way you've got your red, white, red for restricted maneuverability, your white for anchor, and then your red and red for not under command. Big boat, yes it is. And oh, paint the oh no, wrong thing. Paint these a darker colour, and then that'll make the lights stand out a bit more. Although it should stand out alright when it's dark. But a nice mast in a sort of dark colour always looks good anyway, so it'll not do any harm to do that. Then we need our mast headlight, our second mast headlight, so they have the one at the front and the one at the back. And then that lets you know that the boat's over. Hang on, we don't actually need that. We don't need that one. Okay, we can get rid of that. So we just need this one, because it's under. I keep thinking this boat's huge, but it isn't as big as I'm thinking it is. Still a big boat, but not as big as it could be. Right. That's all the nav lights we need, isn't it? I think it is. It's all that it needs for MRG, the sort of official, unofficial vessel testing, I don't know. But they have like a standard that you build everything to, so that it can be used on their server. And I just build all my stuff to that because it's fairly realistic in terms of what the boats need. Actually, we will need stairs on this side, won't we? probably should put some sort of rope or something in across here so that you can't walk up there so easily. But then again, we could just assume that the person that's going up there won't be silly enough to do that. Although this is Stormworks and there's some pretty silly people playing Stormworks, so yeah, you can never be too careful. Right, does this have... this has the right nav-like controller for all them, doesn't it? Question is, where is it? Is that the nav? No. True with nav-lights, okay. Remember I said about how I use the same systems in pretty much everything? Yeah, this is a good example. Is this a copy of a boat or is it inspired by a boat? So the boat this is inspired by is this one here. So Search in a Fire, it's called. It's a ferry operated down in... was it Galway? Somewhere down there on the west coast of Ireland. It's inspired by them. It's not a one-to-one. Because the one-to-one would be 40 meters long, and I have no details on it apart from the fact that it's 40 meters long, 9 meters wide. Either 9 or 6. I think this is 6 meters wide. Yeah, so it should be 9 meters wide. 9 meters wide, 40 meters long, and weighs about 70 tons. Other than that, I know nothing about it. No, not 70 tons. More than that. Is it 170 maybe? Yeah, that's sort of not the point. Yeah, so it's inspired by that. But yeah, we're just building it to our own kind of specification. Steaming lights, that one and that one. Nav lights and the white light. And then let's go and steal the controller from in here. This will definitely speed up how quickly I can get this boat done, rather than building everything from scratch. It's good once you get a few boats and you've got all the different microcontrollers and stuff, and you've got stuff that works. Granted, half of this stuff doesn't work properly, but it's the same kind of point I'm making. Once you've got all this stuff in place, you're as well just kind of copy and paste and everything. It's just so much easier than building new stuff for every boat. Obviously some stuff need that kind of custom finish to them to suit different stuff. Like this wouldn't suit a big huge cruise ship, because a cruise ship would need more lights than that. Or it wouldn't suit like a tug or anything like that. It suits this type of boat, and it works well for that type of boat. So any of this type of boat that I make, I can use it. But yeah, anything else then I can redesign and do my own thing for them, and then use that on something else that I build that's that size. But it's good to kind of build up a load of different stuff that you can kind of use. Okay, there we go. Now I have lights in place. What colour should we make the bottom of it? Probably not pink. It's not bad. I think probably above the rub rail we'll have green. No, not green, white. We could have the same green as the other ferries actually. This green here. That could look cool. And then it's like a whole fleet. Craigle's ferries. I have a lot of ferries, it has to be said. Hopefully more soon, because I want to build a big car ferry. Something like a Line or something like that. I did try and build a super fast, I'll show you that in a minute. I did try and build one quite a while ago, but it was a bit, I don't know, it's a weird shape. So I sort of abandoned for the minute. I'll pick it up again eventually though. Gotta love symmetry, haven't you? Gotta love it. How's that? And then we can have like a green sort of accent to it. What's that other boat? So the other boat is the catamaran that I built fairly recently, like the last couple of weeks. But this has a lot of the same systems that this boat will use. So pretty much it's the same thing I do with most of my sort of boats that are similar. If I have another boat that's a similar sort of setup, I'll just copy over all the systems. So all the nav control, the light controls, the engine controls are all identical on this one to what they are on this one. So it just saves time, and it means you don't end up clogging up with like hundreds and hundreds of microcontrollers for all different stuff, although I've got that anyway. But yeah, just keeps things simpler. So I think that'll do us now. I will put it up onto the hard stand, and we'll take a few screenshots of it, and that'll be our progress report. Let's call it that. I'll need to make a new thumbnail for the next stream because this one's kind of getting a bit outdated. You know what? I'm actually starting to really like the look of this. Yeah. Right. Let's have a look and see if I've still got that super fast. I'd say I probably do. I think it was still... No, maybe not. God, I have so many boats. It's like beyond ridiculous. Be quite far down. Composite is for... It basically means you can have loads and loads of different lines coming in, and then the composite will allow you to use channels. So if you have 4 switches and they're all controlling something else, but they need to go quite a long distance, rather than sending 4 different on-off signals, you just send one composite signal. So you send all the 4 signals into the composite and give them a channel each, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it encodes them, and then you send it, and then on the other side it decodes them, and then it goes back out into the 4 things on the other side then. If that kind of makes sense. I definitely should have this boat. I don't know where. It should be on here. Just for a laugh, to see if it crashes the stream, I might try and spawn in the cruise ship. Let's see how long this will take. I should have started a timer. Right, 25 seconds, 35, 25. Let's see what time it is by the time we get in. There we go. 35, 35. Okay, that only took 10 seconds. I might have exaggerated that a bit. I don't know how many people have seen this, because this was a project sort of abandoned long ago. Not abandoned, put on hold. That's a better word for it. But yeah, full on cruise ship. I really want to build a cruise ship again. Do I only make boats? Yeah, pretty much. Or ships. I suppose this is more of a ship. I really want to build another cruise ship, like really, really badly, but I don't want to build one this size again, because this one is horrendously too big. I mean, it looks amazing, but it's so unusable. Like, what? I'm getting... My god, I'm getting 62 FPS. I'm only getting 8 FPS, like game FPS, graphically. But the game is apparently running at 62 FPS, which seems quite remarkable. What was it that was in this? 42 engines, I think this has. 42 engines, and it does about 12 knots. Yeah, that was one of the reasons we abandoned this. We'd sort of put it on hold until we had modular engines, and then I was going to get someone else in the group to do a modular engine, but the modular engines just weren't good enough to power it well, so yeah, kind of give up. But yeah, Maybe that could be the next stream series that we do, building the cruise ship. Something a bit smaller than this maybe, but yeah, I love that front bit. It just looks so good. I know I built this, so I'm a bit biased, but still, I think I deserve to be praising myself about this. And then I really like this bridge console. One of the guys in the group built this. I think it's pretty cool. And you got a bridge wing on either side as well. It's all very, very nice. Anyway, before my PC melts, let's get rid of that and let's end the stream. So, I think we made a good bit of progress there. So what did we do? We painted the hull twice, messed around a bit, crashed it into the other ferry, got the engines running, and then crashed it into the other ferry, and then changed the floor height and built the mast. I think that's good enough progress for one night. I mean, we're only on an hour and a half, so yeah, that's reasonable enough. So that will do us. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll not be streaming tomorrow night, but probably Monday night. I tried to make stuff other than boats, but found it too yeah, everything other than boats is very complicated. I kind of struggle. I did try and make a train once, but it didn't go terribly well. Anyway, right, that'll do us. See you all next time, probably Monday, as I say. Yeah, not tomorrow, Monday. Bye bye.